Hi everyone, welcome to today's webinar on designing your dream travel app. I am Harriet from Vamoos, and for anyone who hasn't come across us before, Vamoos is an app built specifically for tour operators to give to their clients with everything they need for their travels. We work with over 500 travel companies that are all using Vamoos to deliver a better client experience before, during, and after every trip. Today, I'm going to show you how, for the first time ever, you can now build a travel app that's completely and uniquely yours. No longer limited by a set number of core features, but fully customizable to your clients, your trips, and your brand. Think loyalty programs, referral schemes, score trackers, tip calculators. If you can imagine it, you can build it. So whether you're familiar with Vamoos or not, there should be something in here for you today. But before we get into that, let's take a look at the problem that we're trying to solve here. So, does this look familiar to any of you? A PDF itinerary emailed across to your clients, sitting in an inbox somewhere. If you're still sending these, you're not alone. When PDFs were first invented, which was in fact in 1993, the same year as Jurassic Park came out, they were revolutionary. However, your clients are now walking around with a supercomputer in their pocket. They book restaurants on an app, they check in for flights on an app, they track their delivery driver on an app. Most things they spend money on come with a real-time digital experience. And email isn't as reliable as it used to be either. Google and Apple have significantly tightened their spam filters in the last couple of years. And according to recent studies, 1 in 6 marketing emails now never even reach inboxes at all. So there's a good chance the PDF that you've spent hours putting together is sitting in a junk folder somewhere, which means that your clients will never open it, they don't know what's happening, the questions will start coming in, and when anything changes, you're back to updating the document, resending it, and hoping the right version lands with the right person at the right time. That gap between what your clients now expect and what most travel companies are delivering is a problem, but it's also an opportunity. Because in 2026, the modern traveller expects 4 things. Digital, everything on their phone, no printing, no searching through email chains. Convenience, one place for everything. Personalization, they want to feel like this trip was built specifically for them, not copy and pasted from a template. And connectivity, they want to feel like they can reach you easily, even when they're on the other side of the world. And the data backs this up. As you can see, according to Hilton's 2024 Trends Report, 76% of global travellers actively seek apps that reduce travel friction and stress. So 3/4 of your clients are already looking for this. The question is whether they find it with you or whether it makes them more likely to try someone else next time. We also hear this constantly from travel companies when they first come to us. Their clients are asking things like, why don't you have an app? The other travel companies I've travelled with all have one. And that's the world that we're in now. An app is no longer a nice to have, it is now an expectation. And that expectation starts the moment someone books with you. So let's talk about what that journey could look like. At Vamoos, we talk about what we call the booking to boarding gap. This is the stretch of time between when someone books and when they actually travel. And for most travel companies, that gap is completely silent. Someone books, they get a confirmation email, maybe a PDF a few weeks later, and then nothing until departure. That silence is a missed opportunity because every single one of those moments is a chance to make your clients feel excited, looked after, and connected to you. With Vamoos, from the moment they book, your app is on their phone with your logo and a countdown ticking down to their trip. That countdown alone is a game changer. It turns the worst part of any holiday, the waiting, into part of the experience itself. In the weeks before departure, you can drip feed communications, documents, destination guides, and packing tips, building excitement and trust without any extra admin. Then, when they're on the trip itself, they have everything they need right in their pocket. Offline itineraries, maps, live flight updates, and the ability to message you directly. They feel completely looked after without you fielding panicked WhatsApp messages at midnight. And when they get home, you're already on their phone. A well-timed notification lands while they're still glowing from the trip, whether that's asking for feedback or notifying them of your in-app e-brochure, advertising your other trips. And unlike an email that goes straight into spam, a push notification lands directly on their home screen. They have to see it. That's a guaranteed line of communication that no spam filter can touch. And it's how you can turn one booking into a long-term relationship. Okay, so before we get into what's possible with Vamoos Studio, I want to highlight that Vamoos comes with over 25 built-in features, including these ones here, and you can explore all of them in more detail on our website. But today I'm going to walk you through a handful of the core ones before moving on to what's now possible with Vamoos Studio. So first up, itineraries. This is a feature that gets your clients immersed in their holiday before it's even begun. The itinerary is completely image-led. Every day of the trip has a full screen photo with details underneath, and it scrolls beautifully. You can include things like timings, transfers, what to expect, links to the maps and documents for that day. It's genuinely stunning to look at and a real opportunity to showcase your beautiful imagery. But it's also intuitive and easy to navigate, even for the less tech-savvy travellers. And it's not just functional. Your clients aren't opening the app just to check logistics. They're coming back to it in the weeks before their trips just to look at it, just to feel that excitement building. Every single time they do, they're seeing your brand, your photography, your name. And that's the kind of repeated positive touch point that builds loyalty before the trip has even started. And it's something that a PDF in an inbox simply can't do. And if you're worried about the amount of time it might take to build, our new AI trip import tool scans your existing PDF itineraries and pulls them straight into the app. So you're not starting from scratch and it can take a matter of minutes. Offline documents. This is the feature that removes one of the most stressful moments of the trip, that horrible panic, standing at the front of a check-in line or an airport gate and desperately searching through your emails for that confirmation number when you've got no signal and there's a big queue forming behind you. So with Vamoose, that moment simply doesn't happen. Everything your clients need, boarding passes, hotel confirmations, transfer details, visa letters, destination guides, you name it, it's all downloaded offline before they travel. One tap and everything's there, no internet connection required. It's genuinely invaluable and it's the kind of thing that your clients are going to remember you for and talk about and tell their friends. And with Studio Documents, which is part of our recent Studio update, you can now go well beyond just uploading a PDF or a link. You can actually now build fully branded, beautifully formatted documents, such as these ones here, directly inside Vamoose, using your logo, your colours, and stunning destination photography. So it stops feeling like a practical tool and it's more of a luxury product that's a true extension of your brand. Okay, your maps download offline too, so your clients always know where they are, even without signal. Hotels, airports, key locations, all pinned and ready. But the real value is in the points of interest that you can add yourself. The cafe, you always recommend in Florence, the viewpoint that isn't on TripAdvisor, the restaurant that's been there for generations and doesn't have a website. These aren't just map pins, they're proof that you know this destination like the back of your hand in a way that Booking.com or Google Maps never will. It's your knowledge packed up beautifully. And you can also add GPX tracks. So a hiking group, for example, can sit on their sofa weeks before departure and trace exactly the path they'll be walking. So it's a fantastic way to really get them excited. The final core feature I'm showcasing today is live flight updates. So airports are the most stressful part of almost any trip, so why not do everything you can to remove that stress for your clients? Super easy, you don't need to have booked the flights for this to work. Simply enter the flight number, the airline and the date, that's it. And from those details, your clients get live flight updates pushed straight to their phone, things like gate changes, delays, baggage carousels, everything the moment it goes live, all under your brand. And we partner with a trusted third-party flight data provider to make sure that the information is always reliable and real time. So the moment when your client's phone buzzes with their gate number before they've even had a chance to look for it is the kind of small detail that really will wow them and make you unforgettable. Okay, now for the fun part that you've all been waiting for. As I mentioned, Vamoos Studio is our latest update and it gives you the ability to completely build bespoke features right inside your Vamoos app. So, as I've mentioned, the core Vamoos app gives you those core features and you can give your clients everything they need in one place. It excites them before, during, and after their trip and boosts repeat bookings by 12%. And for a lot of companies, that alone is already transformative. But with Studio, you can go one step further. You can now build additional features that can do things like earn you more money, get you more feedback, excite your travelers even more, and tools that are built specifically for your niche that no competitor can replicate. So we talk a lot about build versus buy, and if you've ever considered building your own app from scratch with developers, the reality is that a basic custom app typically starts at around £50,000. It can take the best part of a year to build, and then it requires constant investment every time Apple pushes an update or a bug needs fixing. And research shows that over half of custom development projects end up costing nearly double their original estimate. So with Studio, you don't need any of that hassle. What once required that significant development budget can now be created using modern web technology in a fraction of the time. Many travel companies are already starting to take advantage of this, building bespoke client experiences that really set them apart. And if you're not thinking about this yet, your competitors will be. And Studio is your easy way in. So, what can you actually build with Studio? I'm sure you are asking this question. I'm going to start with everyone's favourite topic, making more money. Firstly, you could build a referrals tool. As you can see an example here, it wouldn't have to look like this one. This is just an example. A traveller who is mid-trip having the time of their life is the best salesperson you will ever have. So with a simple referral feature, they can tap a button, share a link via social media, WhatsApp or email, and when their friends book, there's a reward for both of them. New leads coming in while your clients are literally on holiday, easy peasy. Secondly, you could build an add-ons feature. So think private transfers, room upgrades, a helicopter tour of London, a cooking class, all bookable directly inside the app. And when you make something this easy, impulse decisions do happen. You might already be sending emails about these extras, but a lot of these are landing in spam and never being seen. And this way, it's right there in the app, impossible to miss at exactly the right moment. And you can even send notifications as well to remind them what is available. And you could also build a loyalty program where clients accumulate points across trips and unlock rewards. One of the most powerful ways to drive repeat bookings is a loyalty scheme, and something that until now has required endless email marketing to achieve. So whether you're already offering these or not, Studio simply makes it easier, more visible, and more likely to convert. As we know, travel can be stressful, and for some travellers, that stress can start weeks before departure. And a lot of our core features already take the stress out of travel, as I've shown you, offline documents, maps, flight updates. But with Studio, you can actually go one step further, and there's hundreds of ways you could use Studio for this. We don't have time, obviously, to cover them all today, but things like translation phrase books, eSIM finders, emergency contacts, currency converters, just to name a few. But here are a couple of examples that I'm just going to use to paint the picture. So firstly, an interactive packing checklist. So the absolute last thing you want is someone showing up to your hiking trip without their boots. A packing checklist means that clients are organised, they arrive prepared, so you get fewer panicked messages, as well as engaging them during that booking to boarding gap that I mentioned earlier. Or take shared expenses as another example. Your clients are going to probably end up using Splitwise anyway. The question is whether they find that feature inside your branded app or whether they go off and download something else like Splitwise. So every useful thing that you build into this app makes you more indispensable and keeps your brand front and centre for longer. This one's mainly for group travel. So group trips are all about connection, coordination, and shared experiences. That's why people book them. But so often that sense of community doesn't really start until everyone lands in the same place and someone makes a WhatsApp chat. And by then you've already missed weeks of opportunity to build excitement. So with Studio, you can give your clients a branded group chat inside the app. This has actually been one of our most popular Studio features. So that could be available before the trip, during the trip, so everyone stays connected, and then afterwards as well, so they can easily stay in touch, find each other's contact details, etc. Bringing them back into your app again and again. And building on that, you could have traveler profiles, almost like an in-app social network, where everyone who's coming on the trip can make a profile saying their name, where they're from, a few fun facts about them, etc., which could take away from the daunting feeling of traveling with people that you've never met. And to go one step further, and this is actually one of my favorite use cases, you could have a little icebreaker games feature for them to get to know each other. Things like two truths and a lie, a bucket list match, travel trivia, so that by the time your group meets in person, they are no longer strangers and they might actually be friends. Okay, now for the final studio example, and this one is more important than ever right now. Reviews are your most powerful sales tool. Your Google ranking, whether ChatGPT recommends you, your trust signals, the reason a stranger chooses you over a competitor, it all comes back to what past clients are saying about you publicly. And the hard truth is that most feedback forms sent by email are going unread. They get buried, end up in spam, as I've mentioned many times in this webinar. They feel like homework and people mean to fill them in and they never do. So with Vamoos, you can capture that feedback at exactly the right moment. You can send a notification that lands on their phone a few hours after they've got home, while they're still glowing and buzzing from the trip. One tap and it's done. Better still, you could build a studio feature that captures in-app feedback and takes anyone who's rated you highly straight to your Google profile or TripAdvisor page with a single tap, turning private feedback into a public review instantly. So more reviews means higher rankings and more bookings. So it's pretty much a no-brainer. Okay, and that's all we have time for today, but I've only just scratched the surface of what's possible with Vamoos Studio. The world really is your oyster, and the best way to discover what it could look like for your specific business to get it is to get it into your own hands with your own branding built around your trips and your clients. And it's worth mentioning that Vamoos also has an open API, so we can integrate directly with your reservation system. No double entry, no extra admin. And we also have a growing suite of AI tools designed to save you time, including Insert, our AI, Image Finder, and Trip Import, which scans your existing PDF itineraries and pulls them straight into your app. So if anything you've seen today sparked an idea, whether it's a feature you'd love to build or a question, or you just want to see what the app would look like with your branding on it, please do reach out. You can scan this QR code here to book a free 15-minute chat with a member of our very friendly team. And we'd love to show you a personalised walkthrough of your very own branded app. Um, okay, I'm going to stop talking now and open up the floor to any questions. Please just pop them in the Q&A box now. And if you think of anything later on, you can, of course, reach out via our website. We would love to hear from you. Okay, we've got a question here from Simon. Is there a limit on the number of features you can add? So no, there isn't a limit at all. You can build and add as many features as you'd like, and you actually also have full control over how they're organized. So you can completely rearrange the icons along the bottom of your app, and you can customize the order to suit your clients. So yeah, if there's a studio feature that you want front and center, you can put it front and center. You are completely in control of what your app looks like. Okay, we've got another question here. Is there an additional cost for studio features? So yes, there is a small additional cost on top of your Vimeo subscription, but it completely depends on what you're building. So it can start from as little as £7 per feature per month. So it's very accessible. But the best thing to do if you would like to get started is to get in touch and we can let us know what you have in mind and we can give you a very clear picture of exactly what it would cost and how long it would take to build, etc. Okay, another question here. Can we design features that use live information from the internet? Absolutely, yes. So a lot of the features that have already been built are doing exactly that. So a great example is an emergency contacts, an embassy information app that one of our clients has just built. So that pulls live data from the internet and it also downloads for offline use. So your clients can access it even without signal. And anything that lives online can pretty much be surfaced into your app. So yeah, definitely. Okay, I think that's all we have time for today. Thank you so much for joining, everybody. I really hope that this has been useful, and I hope to hear from some of you very soon with your studio ideas. Enjoy the rest of your day.